So you just came across a $5 bill and you're about to spend it. Wait, before you do that, make sure that you aren't missing any key indicators on your $5 bill that could make it worth a lot more than just $5. I'm constantly hearing stories about people spending $5 bills without knowing what's exactly on their bill. If you come across a rare $5 bill, the last thing you want to do is bring it to a pawn shop. That's just my opinion, because they typically pay you too little amount of money. My recommendation is going to multiple experts and getting the opinion of them. That way you know you're getting the true value of your bill. Please, if they all tell you the same thing, I would trust them. These coin and currency shops are not looking to scam you or rip you off. Do not be stubborn, please be humbled, but some of the bills in this video sold for a lot of money. And the first thing that you want to know about your bills that could increase the value a little bit is if they are consecutive. Now, what is a consecutive bill? Look at these bills right here. You can tell the serial number on the bill is identical for all bills except the last digit. This is considered to be a consecutive serial number, and it can increase the value, especially if there are more reasons for the bill to be rare outside of the serial number. Let's take this bill for example. Now, it's important to know that PMG is a third-party grading and authentication company, and the highest achievable grade is 70, and this bill achieved that grade. Because it's so challenging to get, this note sold for $6,600. Now, this is a relatively modern bill. This is not financial advice, but in my opinion, I would not buy something like this because it's so modern. I don't see something like this going up in value over time, but there are people out there that are buying this stuff. So that's great for them and good for us too if we have something like this. You may be asking, how do I get a 70 grade? The first thing I'll say is don't get your hopes up, because the majority of people that submit to these grading companies do not achieve this grade because it's so hard to get. Next, your bill has to not have a single fold anywhere on the bill. And if that's the case, then you can achieve the uncirculated grade. But from there, the uncirculated grade goes from anywhere from 60 to 70. And that 60 to 70 grade will depend on the centering of the bill. And by centering, I mean if you look left to right, top to bottom, the margins, how well centered the bill is will dictate the grade. Because this one is graded so highly at the perfect grade of 70, it also has a star at the end of the serial number. This bill sold for $6,600. So it's really important to note that the first year they started producing these small size Federal Reserve $5 bills was 1928. Now you can see that this bill has a letter B after series 1928. These bills can be produced from series 1928, 1928A, 1928B, so forth. Depending on which series you have will dictate how much the bill is going to be worth if the grade is really high. Remember, for these bills, it's a simple supply and demand thing. Like this note sold for $10,350 mainly because of the grade and how many are actually out there. The less supply there is for a bill like this, the more that there is going to be demand. There are collectors out there that really want a bill like this in a high grade, and if there's not many other ones out there, people are going to pay a premium for that bill. This is a star note. Really quickly, it's important to know what a star note is. During the printing process, if a sheet of bills has an error on it, that sheet will get destroyed. They'll produce a new sheet of bills with a star at the end of the serial number. That sheet is a replacement sheet for these bills. People call them star notes or replacement notes. They're not always going to be worth more money, especially if it's a modern bill, but there are chances that it can be if the print run is low. All these things combined allowed it to sell for $10,350. So this one little thing on this $5 bill allowed it to sell for $19,550. And this is what it is. So essentially, this is a $5 bill from 1950. It graded very highly, which does dictate the value quite a bit, but this is considered to be a wide 2 bill. Now, I don't want to get into too many details because you might fall asleep, but essentially what you need to know is this little number on the back of the bill is called a backplate number. Depending on which number you have will dictate what variety you have. So I'm going to throw up a diagram. Essentially, if you have a wide 1, the backplate is going to be 2006 and lower. If you have a narrow, the backplate number is going to be 2007 through 2066. And if you have a wide 2, like this one, the backplate number is going to be 2067 through 2096. So keep your eyes peeled for that backplate number. Now, it's really important to know that it's only specific for this note. If you have any other denomination, if you have any other date, it does not matter. It has to be the $5 1950 bill. If you're enjoying this video, do me a huge favor and smash that like button. It would really help me out. All right, so here we go. This bill sold for $19,975. Now, the first thing you're gonna see on this bill is that it's an old style $5 bill. Now, remember what I was saying before, the 1928 was the first year they ever produced these bills. This is what collectors call a numeral type bill. So this is the only series that's gonna have this, the 1928. You can tell if you have a numeral type bill, if you look to the left of Lincoln there, you're gonna see a number 6. You can have all different numbers there, but 6 means that this one is from the Atlanta district. You're also going to see the number 6 in 4 different locations around the bill. Another fun fact is the first digit of the serial number is an F. Now think about this. F is the 6th letter in the alphabet. This is intentional. So instead of a 6 being there, if that was a number 1, you would have 4 ones around the bill, and the serial number would start with a letter A instead of an F. Did you know that? What you really need to know is that if you have a bill like this, another thing that could increase the value is this serial number. You have only 3 different types of numbers. You have 0s, 2s, and 5s. Some collectors really like the simplicity of a serial number that looks like this. Also, we know what a star note is already. That is something that increases the value. All these things combined allowed it to sell for $19,975. So this bill sold for $26,450, and this is why. So the first thing I noticed on this bill is that this is a light green seal bill. And by that, I just mean the seal and the serial numbers are a light green color. Typically, light green seal notes are going to bring more money than the darker green varieties. All that really means is during the printing process, the colors were either running out of ink or they mixed the color differently, allowing it to have this light green seal look. Light green seals are definitely more rare, but what you need to know about this bill is the fact that there is a C after the 1928 series there. That C makes this bill from Atlanta very challenging to come by. So if you have a 1928 C $5 bill from Atlanta, you have a bill that's worth a lot of money, especially if it grades really highly like this one that graded at a 65, sold for $26,450. If you enjoyed this video, you'll definitely enjoy one of the videos on the screen.